this video, I will be using excerpts from my children's book, A Rainbow on My Plate. Welcome back, Burnout Teachers. Today's lesson will be about how to teach your kids to have a healthy relationship with food and their bodies. I've adopted a practice that many others have been using. It is called intuitive eating. And intuitive eating is a way of really trusting yourself and your own body and honoring what it needs and accepting that every body is different and every body is going to require something different. And that may change from day to day, from year to year, from month to month. For me, somebody who has struggled with eating and had disordered eating in the past, this has been a really helpful journey for me to be able to make peace with food and to be able to enjoy food and just enjoy life more. When you allow your kids to be independent with their choices on food, you're also teaching them a larger lesson about life, that they can be independent, that they need to develop the trust in themselves to be able to navigate life. If we're trying to develop a skill in kids to be able to trust themselves and trust their own voices and intuition, then by us telling them what they may need in a given moment is kind of contrary to them developing that skill. For many parents and teachers, this could be something that is pretty scary to do because you don't want your kids to develop unhealthy eating habits. But in reality, by telling them what to eat, we're actually creating an anxiety that they're going to develop more later as to what is considered healthy and what isn't. And then that can lead to obsessive thinking and obsessive behaviors related to food. By not saying that foods are good or bad, you're teaching kids to have a healthy relationship with food so they don't feel like certain foods are forbidden and then they're going to want those foods more. So we have a tendency to say vegetables are good, fruits are good, donuts, muffins, candy, ice cream is bad. And this is just a very, I think, flawed way of teaching kids about food. Certain foods are going to serve a certain purpose for what you need in that moment. And sometimes food is not solely just for nutritional value. It's also for comfort. It's also for just the memory that you had associated with that food. It's also an experience. It's a social experience. It's a space to share with family. It's comfort. And so when we understand it in that way, then we can respect more the different types of choices that people make related to food. Something really beautiful that my mom did since I was a kid is she would always, when we sat in our high chairs, she would put out all the different types of food. So she'd have pasta, she'd have vegetables, fruit, dessert, and carbohydrates. She'd put like everything out on the plate and then allow us to choose what we wanted to eat. And she would expose us to so many different types of food that as I got older, I was a lot more open to trying new foods because I had been exposed to so much early on. Vegetables is something that I always ate as a kid because my mom exposed it to us, but she never really imposed us eating it. She would just put it alongside all the other foods so that I could make the choices of what I felt like I wanted in that moment. I think it's very important to have diverse representation at home and also in your classroom. Always showing different types of bodies shows kids that no, it's like there's not one way. We're all beautiful and we're all special. And that can help to teach them acceptance from a younger age. So not only showing kids a certain type of body type, having books that represent different types of bodies so that they get used to seeing that not everyone is the same and everyone looks different, and that's a beautiful thing, and that's what makes our world so beautiful is that everybody is different. Intuitive eating is something that not everybody agrees with, and also there are different cultural standards as to what's acceptable in terms of healthy eating and what is considered body shaming, what is considered disordered eating. And I think everyone has a different definition of what that looks like. So it can get kind of sticky if you're trying to implement this in the classroom. And so I would say the main takeaway is just projecting love and tolerance and understanding for all types of people, regardless of the way they look, regardless of their body type, regardless of the color of their skin, their religion. I think if you're really leading with that ideal, usually parents will be more open to talking about these different issues.